is up, everybody? So today we are back here. Or no, not back. So used to saying back because I would be normally in PC Building Simulator, but we are here in PC Building Simulator for the first time. Or PC Building Simulator 2 for the first time. This is the second one. So yeah, we've messed around in the first one quite a bit. Not too long ago, you could go check out that video, but we built a office PC. So today we are going to build a nice little, I guess we'll do something similar. We'll build with new parts. We'll build an office PC with new parts. So we'll go ahead and get this case open first of all. Which is very important. A lot of things that's going to be going into this case. We used this last time when we did this. So this time, we have things like 13 Gen Intel and AM5 and things like that, so could be a little bit more interesting. So what I want to do is I want to go with, because we did AMD last time for the Office PC, we're going to go with a what do you call it? A Intel Office PC, so nothing too fancy or anything like that. Just gotta think about what board I want to use. We're gonna go with this, the Z690 N5 from NZXT. Now I know we could go with this one, but that has all the plastic. We don't want anything to look too fancy here, so this is what we're gonna go ahead and use. It's just a basic looking board, doesn't look anything. It looks like straight up what it is. Something you would be getting from like straight up HP or something itself. So a pre-build. So next up we are going to look at a 13 Gen i7. So we got plenty of i5s. We're going to go with the i7. We're not delidding or anything, so we're just straight up going for it. This is way different, because normally you would just click and it would dot the thermal paste on in PC Building Sim 1, but I have played around with this a little, so I have an idea of what we have. Next up is gonna be our storage. We're gonna go with a machine that straight up just, it's an okay speed, nothing too fancy. So we'll go ahead and open up this, pop in our drive. That's the only thing we'll have, because nothing too crazy. We're just getting the CPU to run at a okay potential. We will leave that for we will leave the front for fans. Next up, memory. So for memory, we need some... Can we put in DDR5? No, we can't. So in order to push the Intel to its limit, we're going to go with the ADATA, these silver sticks. They're a bit faster, but I'm not running DDR5, and these chips would have an issue with this. We're going to go ahead and put in 32 gigs worth. Let's see, 16 and 16. Yeah, that's 32 gigs of RAM. Nothing too big. That's normal for like an editor or something that the kind of person. So this is a very basic looking machine, nothing too fancy so far. Next up, fans. We are going to go with... Can we get some pier wings up front? We can get one in the back. We're gonna go with not an Alpha Cool A. They do have Be Quiet. This is gonna be a tough selection right here because I think we're gonna go with the Pure Loop. What does that look like? Nothing too fancy. Could still try and pop a fan in the back. No, we can't. I think we could try a 120 maybe. Nope. Okay, that's okay. We'll have a little bit more intake. That's 180 going out to, 280 going out to 240. So that's a little bit more intake. All the outtake will be outtaken by the CPU radiator, basically. Plus, we'll have the graphics card, so that's okay. So, next up, we need our power supply. And for that, we are going to use a Silverstone. We'll use the 1000 watt, because why not? We'll throw back in this. Start getting our panels and things like that back together. And all we really need now is a graphics card. So for our graphics card, we're not going to choose anything too fancy, so that means we are going to go with a 3070 Ooh, they haven't the ugly Noctua version. They also have a PMY. What do I go with? I do like this card. This card is kind of different. It's unique. We're gonna go with this. It's a very, very, very thick card that takes up 4 slots. You ain't fitting another one of these in there. Yeah, see, it's not even SLI. See, you can't even SLI this. I don't know why you would even try. But yeah, it is a 3070, very cool looking 3070. Definitely has a big cooling factor. Running normal 120mm fans, I believe it is. So next, what is left to is to boot this and do a little bit of testing, just to see what this will do. We'll go ahead and pop in our USB drive here in the back. So next up, we're going to mess around because this is what we did last time. RAM overclocking. We will run RAM overclocking at 4800. This is a very high cast latency stick system, but we are going to end up running at full speed just simply because this is DDR4 RAM trying to run a chip that's made to run DDR5. Not sure if it'll affect it, but it will definitely affect the performance. We need 3D Mark and Cinebench. I won't mess with the fan controller or anything. So we're going to go ahead and do our single core first. Let that run. I know the single core runs the longest. This machine did turn out pretty good. Let's go ahead and open it up and see what it looks like while it is running. So yeah, there is a little bit of RGB on the sticks. That's the only RGB I'm seeing. This is a very nice looking loop in here. It goes with what we were trying to achieve very well with the block and the RGB-less radiator. Got some nice old 140 Be Quiet fans up in the front. No RGB. That's very good. Noctua card. I know you wouldn't sit there and just see it in a office PC build, but this is just going to be the imaginative build that this did not have a graphics card in it to initially start off with, and that was just the choice of whoever owned it. So it would be a good office PC, let me tell you. This would very much be the machine I would probably actually even have setting over here because it is nothing too crazy. This machine right here, just like whatever free build, uh, it just has an empty loop. It just, if I fill up the coolant, it'll run. Not sure even what's in this because this is a pre-built for the thing, but this has a 5800. The regular one not the 3D version. It also has a looks like a 3080, 3090. 39, it's one of those, somewhere between 3080 and 3090. Um, so yeah, this is a good single core performer, which is important for things like what this machine would be intended for. It would be good for gaming, good for doing things like what I'm doing right here, which is recording and playing this. Especially with that 3070 that will stay nice and cool, that's for sure. That will, that graphics card should not have any problems. Cinebench is a little bit different than 3D Bench because I can run the single core, and I'm really only testing the CPU here. Whereas 3D Mark, I'd be testing both the GPU and CPU. And also, one thing they're gonna have to do in this game is they're gonna have to throw in the GPU test to Cinebench because that's a thing now. You can Cinebench your graphics card, which is very interesting. Gives you another way to stress test your card. Should probably close that. This test is almost done. This test does take, the single core takes a little while. The full CPU it will be done in just like. All right, so we got a 858, I think, on that, somewhere around there. But then when we run this test, it will run like a champ. Can't read any numbers, but that's okay. Got a 12,172 for the full CPU, which is pretty good. Next up, we will run our 3D Mark to see what kind of test it's going to do. I don't have performance turned on to the fans. Should be okay because should not be throttled. Really should not be throttled. I would be afraid if this was throttled. If this was throttled, we would have some major issues. Couldn't tell you where the temperatures are at because even the, what you call it, like in PC Building Sim 1, where you have the info up and you leave and you run this with the System Info app open, it would show me the temperatures. I can't show the temperatures during the testing of this, but it is getting around a good, the PS is what it's looking like. We'll see for sure when we see the averages come up on the thing. The test also does look a little bit different from the original one in the original PC Building Simulator. This is gonna get kind of interesting as we do a little bit more with PC Building Sim 2. I even think, yeah, I want to run a career possibly on YouTube with this. Got a got a score of 13,627 with the 12,828 card score, CPU 22,472. I imagine our issue is kind of our RAM that would be holding us back. The 12th gen would know how to handle a DDR4 stick a little better. So the graphics one test, we came out with a little over 60 FPS and 73 FPS on graphics test 2. The CPU came out with around 88, 89, somewhere around there, which for this machine is actually pretty good for it even only having DDR4 and things like that. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and leave this video here. Make you guys come up with suggestions. What else should we do? What else kind of PC should we build? I want to go back to the visitation of building the all-white PC. That was fun building in PC Simulator 1. And I do believe I do have a lot more options to mess around with in this for as far as white parts and things like that. So the thing is I want you guys to leave your suggestions. What should I build in? What case should I build in? What kind of build should I do? I think it would be interesting to see some DDR5 builds come around on the channel now that we are running PC Sim 2. PC Building Sim 2. So yeah, go ahead and leave that comment, what you want to see in this. Leave a like, go ahead and subscribe to see more content like this in the near future. And I will see you later. Goodbye.